Ava Ruiz, a 37-year-old wildlife biologist and devoted mom to her curious 8-year-old daughter, Sophia, had chosen Crestview Hills for its wild edges, open spaces where mule deer roamed and red-tailed hawks soared. Her cozy bungalow with its wildflower meadow front yard and bird feeders dangling like jewels was a lab for her passion, studying urban avian habitats. Ava consulted for the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Department, tagging birds with tiny GPS trackers and advocating for green corridors in suburbs. After Sophia's dad bailed years ago, Ava poured her energy into raising her daughter amid feathers and field notes, turning their home into a fluttery classroom. The HOA's Iron Claw belonged to Gloria Hayes, a 62-year-old ex-school teacher turned self-appointed enforcer, with frosted hair, cat-eye glasses, and a whistle around her neck like a drill sergeant. Glory cruised the streets in her pearl-white Prius, slapping violation stickers on everything from non-standard doormats to bird feeders she deemed litter traps for vermin. Her fines funded community enhancements that suspiciously lined her pockets, fake landscaping bids to her nephew's company. Glory loathed Ava's hippie habitat, as she called it, fining her $150 monthly for aesthetic disruption and threatening liens if Ava didn't pave her wildflowers into astroturf. The feud feathered out when Glory spotted Ava's custom birdhouse, a cedar box mounted on a 10-foot pole designed for western screech owls, an at-risk species in urban zones. Sophia had painted it with owl motifs during a rainy afternoon craft session, and it teemed with activity, a mated pair nesting, their hoots a nightly lullaby. Glory, mistaking it for a shack-like eyesore, waited until dusk one evening and went full vigilante. Armed with garden shears and a stepladder, she hacked the pole down, smashing the birdhouse to splinters under her boot. Chicks tumbled out, cheeping in terror as Glory muttered, "No more feathered freeloaders." A neighbor's ring cam caught it all, Glory's triumphant smirk as she drove off, leaving feathers and fury in her wake. Ava's heart shattered seeing the orphaned owlets, but her biologist's brain kicked into gear. She scooped the chicks into a warming box, called her vet colleague for rehab, and reviewed the footage. Instead of tears, she plotted, Glory's stunt wasn't just vandalism. It violated the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, a federal law protecting native species with fines up to $15,000 per incident. Ava documented everything. Photos of the nest, DNA swabs confirming screech owls, and GPS data from her research showing the pair's migration patterns. She filed a report with Colorado Parks and Wildlife, CCing the HOA board with a polite but pointed email. This enhancement just hatched a federal headache. Glory doubled down at the next HOA meeting held in the rec center's stuffy hall under buzzing fluorescents. "That eyesore was a health hazard," she blustered from her podium, waving a laminated rulebook. "Ms. Ruiz, remove your wildlife welfare project or face escalation. I've already called animal control." The crowd, a mix of weary parents and golf-shirted retirees, shifted uncomfortably. Ava, with Sophia clutching her hand, stood tall. "Actually, Glory, those vermin are protected screech owls. Smashing their nest, that's a felony under federal law." Gasps rippled as Ava projected her evidence, the ring footage in slow-mo, Glory's shears glinting like a villain's prop, vet reports on the chick's trauma, and a map overlaying Crestview's habitat hotspots she'd surveyed for the state. Glory's face drained to chalk white, her whistle dangling forgotten. "Lies, forged footage," she sputtered, but Ava had anticipated the denial. She'd looped in Ranger Elena Torres from Parks and Wildlife, who arrived mid-meeting in khakis and a badge that outshone Glory's whistle. Elena verified the violation on site, fining Glory $10,000 personally and slapping the HOA with a $5,000 community service mandate for habitat restoration. "Tampering with protected nests endangers biodiversity, and that's no small tweet," Elena deadpanned, drawing nervous chuckles. The owl incident cracked Glory's facade wide open. Ava, digging deeper for her report, uncovered Glory's enhancements scam, $75,000 in dues siphoned to ghost vendors, backed by falsified invoices. At a raucous emergency town hall, Ava unveiled the audit, spreadsheets she'd crunched with her DataViz software, red flag transfers to Glory's offshore account. "This isn't birdwatching, it's embezzlement," Ava declared, her slides popping like fireworks. Neighbors, stung by years of fines for illegal compost bins or gaudy wind chimes, roared. One dad, fined $300 for a kiddie pool, yelled, "Glory's the real pest!" Glory crumbled, phoning her lawyer mid-rant, but it was too late. Police hauled her in for fraud, her Prius impounded as evidence. The DA piled on wildlife charges, landing her 18 months in county jail and a restitution order that gutted her nest egg. In a civil suit, Ava sued for property damage and emotional distress. Sophia's tears over the baby birds hit hard, winning $25,000, funneled straight to owl rehab programs. Crestview Hills molted its old skin. The HOA dissolved in a landslide vote, birthing the Crestview Wildlife Watch, a chill collective Ava chaired. They transformed Glory's old beautification fund into a native plant grant, planting owl boxes and milkweed meadows. Fines vanished. Instead, potlucks featured Sophia's owl drawings as invites. The screech owls returned, their hoots echoing freer nights. Ava's bungalow became Watch HQ, buzzing with bird bandings and stargazing picnics. Twist of the talons. During the audit, Ava found Glory's charity checks were to a bogus avian rescue. Ironic, since Glory was allergic to feathers. It turned out her nephew's firm was a front for her ex-husband's gambling debts. The scandal splashed local news, with headlines dubbing her the owl outlaw. Sophia, now a pint-sized biologist, quipped, "Karma's got wings, Mom." Years on, Ava gazed at the flatirons from her porch, an owl silhouetted against the moon. Glory's rampage had clipped her wings, but Crestview soared, proof that one smashed nest could hatch a revolution. Her wildflowers bloomed unchecked, a feathered middle finger to tyranny.